Okay, welcome back everybody to the Rattle Cage podcast. I am Ryan, joined by always is Sterling. Once again, Sterling, I feel like we've been saying this a couple times, but we are back on track. It is, Daytona. Obviously, we did have the clash, but yeah, this feels like we're actually back into the actual swing of things. I feel like we're going to be back into the swing of things once we get out of these restrictor plate trash. We're going to be kind of jumping for joy there too, but still, we're back at it. So I do have a funny story before we start, Sterling. You're gonna really appreciate this.
Oh
So
boy.
so I'm like, in the process of buying this house, right? And so I have to go to the bank. Like, seemed like I was going there every other day. Like, they forgot this, they forgot that, they needed this, they needed that. I needed to go sign this. So it's the Friday before the Super Bowl. So I go in and I go up to the front girl there and I say like, hey, I'm here to see, the loan person. And she was like, yeah, I'll go back and get her. Go ahead and have a seat. So I went and sat down, and the guy behind me walked up to the girl and was like, hey, making small talk. He's like, are you ready for the Super Bowl? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I was more raised in like a NASCAR family. Like, I'm more, I think, excited for the Daytona 500. I don't think I've ever looked up from my phone fast enough. I was like you just never really hear that around here.
No.
So if you get a wedding invitation in the mail, Sterling,
Jeez.
you know why.
Well, at
So
least it'd be a good one, I guess.
yeah, but no, I'm that completely. Obviously we live in Pennsylvania. Like, I just never hear that. So I thought that was just wild. I figured you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess Connor Mozak is done, so that sucks.
Yeah, so we are recording this during the truck race. So yeah, Sterling will probably give us. Yeah, I did have Mozak in my DraftKings, excuse me, lineup. So that does suck. So, but all right, Sterling, you ready for the driver by driver breakdown?
Yeah, we'll do this one
So
a little differently. Go position by position.
yeah, so yeah, I got to sort it by position. Before we start, we have to push the Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord, you should be in the Discord. I know everybody pushes their own Discord. You always hear this Discord, that Discord. I like our Discord. Sterling likes our Discord, I believe. I believe everybody in there likes the Discord. We got some big names in there, guys that won GPPs. Cam Fan, he just won the Clash GPP there. We didn't have anybody win the duels last night that I'm aware of. But yeah, we took some home last year. We had two in the fantasy world or fantasy racing world championships.
One in the final 12, but there's three or four in their top 100. And then there's a couple guys that had multiple. So total, I think there's like 12 entries in that top 100 for that.
Yeah, so if you're not in that Discord, like I say it every week, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. And when you get in our Discord, I am nowhere near the smartest guy in that Discord. So it's definitely the right room to be in. I've learned a lot from a lot of these guys, and these guys will, give tips and tricks and whatever you need. I mean, any questions, like, D Bulls is always there, Cam Fan, you know, BD Rutshot, Ben, Brad, all them guys. They're there. They're always, talking shop. So it's a great Discord. Um, I will post the link to the Discord in the comments section. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely check out Race for the Prize. Sterling, I'll let you do a race for the prize. You know more about it than I do. I will let you talk about it for a second.
All right, that's I actually have that pulled up on my laptop right now. I'm on the computer, so I can't screen share that. But if you go to the racefortheprize.com, there's a bunch of great spreadsheets you can look at. You can go back through. You can look at everyone's results from the track they'll be at that week. So this week you could go back and look at Daytona, but you could also look at Talladega. You could look at Atlanta. And then another thing that's really huge once we get a couple weeks into the season, when we're at like 1.5 miles or road courses, you can look at the practice lap by lap, see who's fast early on, who's fast in the middle of a run, who's fast late. So being able to look at the practice data in itself is huge. Then you can also look at the past optimal lineups. So you can go in there and look, say, like I got the 2022 one pulled up right now, and surprisingly, there was two guys that started inside the top 10 that were optimal in the 2022 500. So that's really shitty with what we're about to talk about, but it's good to be able to look back and see like the amount of dominators and stuff like that once we get into a real racetrack.
Yeah, I won't lie. I didn't have that before this year and last year when me and Sterling were doing this. He was always going over optimal lineups and everything like that, and that's really good to see. Like, you know, tracks like this, but like more importantly, like maybe other kind of tracks, see like how many points you're actually shooting for, like, you know, how many dominators there were, you know, place differentials, stuff like that. So those past optimal lineups, and like Sterling said, two guys inside the top 10, that's kind of good to see. You know, like Sterling also said, that kind of crappy because we're gonna probably tell you to don't start anybody inside the top 10, but um, yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, race for the prize. I played around with it a little bit. Sterling's more familiar with it. You know, now he's got the AI, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of interested to see how that plays on like more prototypical tracks, not necessarily plate races. Because I mean, we know as much as the next guy. Any 30 whatever drivers, 40 could win on Sunday. It's just basically pulling a name out of a hat. But the AI is cool, and hopefully he can perfect that. We can perfect that, whatever, and get that going.
Yeah, but
So,
enough of all that shit. Let's talk about Sunday.
all right, so let's talk about Sunday. So, Sterling, anybody inside the top 10 that you want? Any other? We got a code or a color code over here. Anybody that is listening on the podcast, definitely go over to the YouTube channel. We will have you can view the actual visual on YouTube, but for those listening, watching, whatever, red is fading 0%. We want nothing to do with that driver. Yellow is 0 to 25% ownership. You know, he's going to be in our player pool, but, you know, about 25%. Blue is going to be 25 to 50, and then green is we love that driver, full speed ahead, full send. You know, we think that driver is going to crush. So we kind of went with this. Obviously, I personally have not built yet. I'm sure Sterling hasn't built yet, but this
No.
is just a preliminary. Obviously, we are on a Friday night, so this can change, but this is as of Friday night how we feel. So with that being said, Sterling, anybody inside the top 10 that you want, anybody or any color other than red?
No, I always fade at least the top 20. Like I
Okay,
don't play a single person in the top 20.
that's probably how I was gonna play. So you want top 20 red?
Yeah.
Okay. So even Christopher Bell?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys in that range that you can make an argument for. I would never play more than one, but like Gilly, AD, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott,
That's
like
that's what I was gonna say. I might go yellow on Blaney and probably Elliott, but I think that's the only. What the hell's going on here? I think that's the only two I'm going to have different than you.
yeah, but like I said, I will not have anybody in the top 20.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. We always kind of preach that, the whole stack the back kind of thing, but looks like mine's a different shade of red, but still red. So and then so that knocks out half the field. So Kyle Busch, this guy's been kind of disappointing as of he's already like we're what a couple races we're a dual win and a clash and I'm already like wanting to give up on this guy because I was high on him in the clash and he did nothing, high on him in the duels and he did nothing. So how do you feel about Kyle Busch?
He's been very outspoken over the past several years that this is the one that he wants. Like he's got a
Yeah.
Daytona win, but he doesn't have a Daytona 500.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard. Does that mean he plays it a little safer and rides around the back the first half? But we are possibly going to have a rain shortened race, so that could change that strategy of it. But as far as playing him, I'd probably rank him yellow. I don't see myself having more than like 15%. Probably
Yeah.
have less than 10, honestly.
Yeah. I'm actually in the same boat. Like I said, I'm kind of discouraged by them so far. Like you said, we should have touched on that before we started. I mean, they've already moved this race up an hour. We expect rain to be a factor. So with that being said, it kind of stinks because like Sterling said, stack the back and hope for chaos. But if there's only 105 laps, chaos might not be as abundant as a 200 lap race. So
I think
definitely
it could be the opposite. I think it could be way more chaotic if they think it's going to rain.
It definitely could. I mean, we kind of talked about this in the Discord. The only thing that stinks is a caution lap takes how many minutes to get around. Where if they start at 2, rain, let's say, comes at 4, and they race for an hour, and then all of a sudden it just turns into a wreck fest, and then it's like each caution's 10 minutes. It's like, you know, I could see like cautions just us being like, all right, let's go green, let's go green, let's go green. Like, come on, like let's get more chaos here because we need more DraftKings. But I don't know. So that's one thing to look at. So Kyle Larson, I believe, in my opinion, I think this guy is going to be one of the ones that is the chalkiest. I don't know if you kind of agree with that. I think everybody kind of has this stack the back kind of approach, and I think they like to see the sexy names back there, and I think Kyle Larson's definitely going to be one of those. So just for that, I think I'm going to be underweight on that, and I think I'm going to go yellow.
He would be the lower range of yellow for me. Same thing as
Yep.
Kyle Busch. I could see like maybe 10%.
Yeah, I always go back to not to bring up bad memories for you, Sterling. I always like to go back to that last Daytona race when you were winning the 100,000. You
140,000 when the white
hun,
flag went.
yes.
First and second, that one hurt.
Yes, it did. Like I said, I hate to bring up bad memories, but like if you look at that lineup, it was a lot of like guy like Parker Retzloff, Harrison Burton. It was just like I don't want to say no names, but it was no names. And like in that race, Ross Chastain, I had a lot of Ross Chastain. He was starting in the 20s, and he came in at like 50 or 60% owned, and he ended up wrecking. And so it's almost like that really taught me like go with these lower name guys and just like I mean Riley Herbst. I mean, there's a lot of people going to play Riley Herbst. I doubt it, but he could get lucky and escape the chaos and get a top 10 finish. So I think that's going to be my ish approach. I don't know how you feel about that, Sterling.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I I build strictly off of an optimizer. I'll be using SaberSim
Yeah.
for Sunday. I
Yeah, and
only
if you want to talk about groups, I know you said about groups earlier.
yeah.
Yeah, I hand build, so I know nothing about groups. So if you want to go into, we'll just stop at Kyle Larson here for a second, and you can go ahead and talk about groups if you'd like.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Actually, is I'll probably group like 21st to 24th together, and maybe set that at 0 to 1 definitely 0 to 2, but leaning towards 0 to 1. So you wouldn't have more than one of Kyle Busch, Larson, Gibbs, or Herbst together.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So is Ty Gibbs, would he be the same color as you? Now his car was pretty fast, but I think he got some damage. I don't think he's going to a backup car.
I don't think they're going to back up, but he should still have to start at the rear. So, I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't matter, but I feel like he's going to be an idiot, drive way too aggressive for being Daytona, and probably end up wrecked out. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could lean yellow, but my gut feeling is I'm probably going to be closer to red on him.
Okay. Oops. I did orange, but
You mix yellow and red, you get orange.
I guess. I guess. Uh yeah, that's tough. I'm kind of there with you. I think he is going to be aggressive, but I might have just a little bit. I hate to say I'm a full fade on Ty Gibbs, so I'm going to go yellow. I just think the price, it does suck he's starting in the back. That might put me more towards red. I don't think I'll have more than 10% of them. I'm going to say that, but
No, Saber Sim is showing him right around 15, and then they're showing Riley Herbst at less than 10. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson both about 25. So Riley Herbst
okay.
is going to be my favorite in that range.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. I think blue was 25 to 50. Yeah, I think I'll kind of be at the 25 on Riley Herbst. Like I said, I kind of like these lower name, um, lower name kind of guys versus the big names. So I think I'm going to be right around the 25% on them. What do you think, Sterling?
Yeah, I'll be probably 20 to 30% on Riley Herbst.
All right, so you're right there in the blue with me. Okay, Michael McDowell, new driver or new car, but looks like he's the same Michael McDowell. Looks like he's pretty good at plate racing.
Yeah, but he has kind of struggled in the next gen car. At
Yeah.
Daytona, he's finished 30th, 36th, and 13th and 28th in the past 2 years.
Wow. I did not know that.
I don't think that matters a whole lot. I think the strategy stays the same. I think he just kind of ran into a bad stretch. So maybe, if anything, that lowers his ownership, which Saber Sim does have him at 16, which I think is too low. I think he comes in probably closer to 25, 30, which is about what I plan to be on him.
Okay. Okay. So 25 to 30. So you want blue. I will. I'll probably have to agree. I'll probably be about to 25. Um, SVG.
This one's tough. I mean, this guy knows nothing about this style of racing. He's only done this once in the next gen car, finished 35th. So I think he's a great low owned play. He's
Yep.
not someone I plan on going very heavy on, probably less than that 25%, probably 15 to 20% for me. But I I feel like something like Raleigh Herbst and Shane Van Gisbergen would be a good starting point for a legit shot at a solo.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this out there. I mean, I know we keep kind of going off the rails a little bit, but as we're sitting here doing this, is there any guy that's actually going to be in the green for you? Because I think I'm going to pretty much cap ownership at 40% on my guys. Like I don't want any guy over 40%. Do you kind of feel the same?
Usually I cap ownership at like 33 to 40% on super
Okay.
speedways.
Yeah, so I mean, with that being said, I guess I did make a green, but as we were going through, I was like, I think we should probably say that. Like, I probably won't. At least in the past, I've never had at super speedways a guy over 40%, so I don't see that changing. So with that being said, Ryan Priest, he definitely looked good in the duels. I'll probably the same. I'll probably have blue on him.
Yeah, that's I'll be in that range on him. He's someone that has kind of struggled in the next gen car on super speedways, but in their Xfinity series, he seemed to always look pretty decent in super speedway racing. So, and he's got BK and Chris Buescher who have both won
Exactly.
duels. They both run very well in this style of racing, and
Yep.
you know he's gonna be coached up, and BK is
Yes.
gonna be behind him there. So maybe they just kind of hang out in the back for a little bit.
Yeah. Cody Ware, I wish he was starting further in the back. I
I
know I
don't. I think this is perfect. I think he's going to be like less than 5% owned because he's starting 28th, and it's the
that's
same
a good
play.
point.
It doesn't matter. Like it is the same play. He finished fourth last year.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Like I kind of wish he was starting like a little bit farther in the back. But you're right. You're right. I never really looked at it at that angle. It's like I
He missed two of the last three next gen races, but outside of that, at Daytona, he finished fourth, 14th, sixth, and 17th. I would
yeah.
take that all day long.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that he will probably be one of my highest owned guys.
Yeah, that's
And that's ugly to say, but I mean
I current. Go
it's
ahead.
probably the truth.
Yeah, that's I think that's a great play. SaberSim has him at 8% owned.
Yep.
I'll be surprised if he's higher than that. I think that's probably actually still a little bit high. I really think he comes in at like 3 to 5%, and I'm gonna be at least quadruple that.
Yeah, because he always seems to be one of those ones that just rides around, doesn't really, and then at the end, kind of, he's always there.
Yeah, he just
So
waits.
that's a perfect play for this type of track for 5,200. Yeah, like I said, he will be one of my highest owned guys. So next up, Josh Berry. I don't think Josh Berry's a. I I want to say I don't think he runs super speedways very well.
No, he's been like a mid pack car in the next gen era
Yeah,
at Daytona. So
I, I think for that, I think I'm gonna go yellow. I think I'll be light on him.
yeah, I'd rather get any of those guys in front of him. The top like
Yep.
25 to 28, I'd rather have. I will have
Yeah.
some Josh Berry, but I'm not making him. I won't be more than 20% on him, if that.
Yeah. So yellow for you also.
Yeah.
All right. So Cole Custer, anything stand out to you with Cole Custer?
Really, the only thing that stands out to me with him is that he is supposed to basically be a fourth RFK car. So I feel like we see them at least pit together, which could help him out. But I don't know. I feel like he's gonna do what Cole Custer does and just kind of hang out. So he could end up being a great play. I just I don't know. I will probably be around 25-30% on him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll probably be in the yellowish. I'll probably be maybe 10 to 15, but I definitely don't blame you for that. Uh
Saber Sim has him right around 15. I'll be a little over that probably.
okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think I'll just be yeah, I don't know. Ricky Stenhouse.
This is why I kind of like Custer a little bit more because I think Stenhouse, Gregson, Hosevar, Kozlowski, Haley, I think all these guys are going to be
Yep.
35 to 45% owned. So I
Yep.
think that really chops Custer's ownership. But as far as Stenhouse, it's hard to argue against playing him because he's
Right.
always there. But he
Yep.
also all always seems to end up getting into something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. Are you gonna go blue on that 25 to
Yeah, it's hard not to
it's
with him
hard not
starting
it,
31st.
yeah, I agree 100%. And you made a good point with Custer. That was a good point you kind of made. Um, that actually might put me a little bit more on Custer because, yeah, I think I want to be underweight on Keselowski and Haley because I think they're going to be absolute chalk. So, yeah, I think that's a good pivot. So that's a good point. Noah Gregson. I think at 6,800, I think he is going to be, like you said, I think he's going to be high owned. Um, oops, I think
Seeing
I'm,
him right around 25%, I'll probably
yeah,
be right around that.
okay. I think I'm going to be under that. I don't know. Judging by this, I don't know who the hell I'm going to play. I don't have a lot of guys that I have a lot of ownership in. So, Carson Hocevar.
Seeing him projected around 18%, I feel like he comes in slightly more than that just because of how aggressive he is. And you kind of have to be aggressive in these super speedway races with this new car.
Yeah, yeah.
That could come back to bite him, though.
Yeah, I think I am gonna have him in the blue. How do you feel about that?
He finished 11th in the Coke 400 and
That's
40th
weird.
in the
Yeah.
500. So
Oof.
I'll probably be around his projected ownership, like 20, 25.
Okay. I'll put you in the blue with me. Brad K. I think this is a guy I think I am going to fade. I think he is going to be the Ross Chastain of last year, where like feel like he's going to be probably the highest, if not one of the highest three. And I think I'm just gonna hope for carnage.
I'm leaning towards that. I'm probably going to try to get a few of them, depending on how many lineups I run. I definitely won't be more than like 25 tops, but
Yeah.
Kozlowski has the feeling of the very first Millie Maker DraftKings had for Daytona,
Yeah.
where Denny Hamlin he didn't qualify or something, and he started like 36 or 40th or something.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember that. Yep.
it was hard to not play Denny Hamlin starting that far back, and then he ended up being the first car wrecked out. And this has a very similar feeling to that.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's just one of those. I think I'm just gonna just yeah. I think I'm just
Saber
gonna
Sim
go.
has him at 49% owned, and
Yeah.
that's probably pretty fucking accurate.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and same with the next guy. I think he is going to be huh, probably right up there.
Shows him at 28, but I think he's going to be higher than that.
Yeah, I think he'll be higher than that too. I might change him to a yellow. I mean Haley. I think I might be a little bit in on Keselowski. I'm gonna fade and just not saying I hope he wrecks. I hate saying that, but I think that's what I'm going to do with Keselowski. Haley, I think I might play a little bit, but how do you feel about Haley?
About the same way. I'll probably be 20 to 25 on him.
Okay. Suarez, I think I don't know. I feel like he probably has a decent name out there. I think
He's
he's
so
kind of
hit
an
or miss.
he really is because I mean he won Atlanta obviously, so I mean, he's got to be somewhat decent, but yeah, he is hit or miss. I think I might play him just for the fact that I think a lot of people are going to play Keselowski and Haley, and I think I'm going to try to pivot to Daniel Suarez and just hope for the best.
Yeah, that's I think I'm going to be pretty light on Suarez, probably
Okay,
15 to 25.
okay, and I don't hate that. I feel like at this race it's just picking straws,
It
but
is.
Zane Smith,
I'm going to group these next two guys together because they're two guys that I think are very hard to not play.
yes,
They're being shown pretty high owned, right around 40%. But if you look at
oh,
Zane, his last three, now this is kind of weird, and maybe it's a sign because it's their number 13. But in his last three Daytona races, he finished 13th in every one of them.
oh wow,
But then Bowman, he's finished 16th, 2nd, 6th, 5th, 14th, 24th, 8th.
yeah,
So,
it's hard not to play those guys.
but the that sticks out to me about Bowman is it seems like year after year they come to Daytona and they're the car to beat in qualifying. This
Right.
year they were kind of slow in qualifying. They didn't even make the top 10 actually. And that kind of makes me wonder if did they bring a different setup as far as being more prepared towards being in the draft rather than
Yeah, they
coming
did.
focused on qualifying?
They did talk about that on the broadcast of the duels. I don't know if you saw that. They did say that. I don't remember if it was Harvick or Boyer said that the Hendricks always came super fast, but then in the race they were super loose.
Which makes me wonder if Bowman was able to qualify up front, race well with a super loose car, what's he going to do from the back in a car that should handle pretty well?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
But then you got to look on the other hand of it, and did he stay clean like that all them races because he was already up there in front of everything else? Like,
Yeah,
it sucks. I hate super
it,
speedway races, but at the
I
same
do
time, I
too.
love them.
I know it's a love hate relationship. You just basically have to throw darts at a wall and avoid chaos, basically.
That's like Dustin in the Discord. He was like, I just picked historic numbers for Penske, and that's who I'm starting tonight in the truck race."
Yeah,
I mean, hey, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can do to randomize your lineup.
exactly, exactly. So you're gonna group both of these guys like as like a blue.
They're probably going to be on the higher end of blue for me. They will probably be the
Okay.
closest to green.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. I've got to agree. It's kind of hard not to play either one of these guys. So then we're gonna get to the last three: Truex, Jimmy, and Helio. I don't think I'm playing Helio at all.
I got an argument for that.
Okay, go ahead. And I think I know where you're gonna go with this.
You already know. It's the simple fact that nobody is going to play him because he looked
Yeah.
like an absolute fucking
Yep.
idiot.
Yep.
But then he came out in practice and was like third quickest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I as soon as I said that, you were like, well, I got to count. I was like, you're exactly right. Like if you watch a quarterback on Monday Night Football just completely look like shit, you always want to play that guy on Sunday because it's like nobody's going to play him because they just remembered watching him make an
yep.
ass out of himself on Monday night. So it's
Like
kind of the same. I
I
mean,
think
Helio might come in under 5% owned.
I would almost obviously I can't guarantee it, but I really do want to sit here and say I guarantee you that he is less than 5% owned. Like I feel like Helio could very well be the key to someone solo in 500K.
You know, just for
I
that,
feel like
I think I'm going to group all three of those guys into blue.
that's
No.
I'm gonna be blue on Helio.
Okay.
Yeah, blue on Truex, and then I'll probably be 20% ish on Jimmy.
Okay. And I don't mind that. Jimmy, yeah, it's just, I kind of feel the same way you do with Helio or I do with Jimmy as you do with Helio. It's just, I just don't think anybody's going to play Jimmy Johnson. And
Yeah, because a lot of people think that he pitted in the duels by himself on purpose. Like they thought that was a strategy. I've heard a lot of people bitching about that, and it's like that wasn't intentional. He had issues. Like he had no
yeah.
choice but to pit. Like not sure where the fuck people got that idea, but okay.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw my tinfoil hat on for Martin Truex Jr. though, and just say that
Okay.
he's back with his old crew chief, so I can
Yes.
see the Cinderella story of them getting a Daytona 500, and then this actually being Truex's last time.
Yep. Yep. The Pern Star.
Can't believe I've never heard that. Actually,
You never heard that?
no.
What about remember him saying about the tungsten butt plug?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Cole Pern. He seems like a cool guy. Definitely seems like a down to earth, cool guy to hang out with. But yeah, that's kind of Daytona in a nutshell. I feel it's kind of shitty that we don't have like a whole bunch of like insight or anything. It's basically like fade the top 20. Like I said, you can make an argument for Blaney and maybe a guy or two, but fade them guys and then just kind of just pray for chaos, pray for good chaos. Like, obviously we don't want to see a Ryan Newman happen again with Trump being
Yeah,
there and rain in
that
the forecast. It's like this kind of
that was
brings back.
fucking scary.
Yeah, yeah. This brings back. What was that? 2016. Spring back. Is it 2016?
I can't remember. I just remember being like, "Holy fuck, we just watched another one die."
Yeah,
Then he
yeah,
walks out of the hospital the next day. Like that
yeah.
was
Yes.
wild.
Certified badass. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. With Trump being there and yeah, with rain in the forecast, I mean, we definitely want, when we say chaos, we want, obviously safe, controlled chaos. But yeah, and
Yeah,
then hope your six drivers out chaos the, all the other ones. But yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody's entering the big contest. We got 500,000 to the top place and for $25, and then we got the big $500 to, what is it, 50,000 the first or 100,000 the first.
100,000. There's 800 people in that one.
Yeah, that would be a sweet contest. If I didn't just buy a house and have all them fees, I'd definitely at least have a single bullet in that. But
Oh, you got our trucks and Xfinity. You can win something to put in.
yeah, we definitely hope. We definitely hope that would be nice. But yeah, it's yeah, just that's the only thing I can say is just try to avoid chaos.
Yeah,
Hopefully it goes 200 laps so we can get the full chaos effect.
that'd be sweet. But I'm just gonna real quick go back over the groups.
Yep.
I I'm personally completely fading the top 20. But if you don't want to do that and you want some of those guys in like 14th range, I would definitely fade the top 10. Make a group of like 12th to 20th, 0 to 1. Then another group with that same group, stretch that out to 24th, 25th, set that 0 to 2. And then from that point on, you're obviously going to have at least 4 guys from 25th on back. And at that point, the biggest thing is basically just spreading your ownership, not putting 70% of one guy, nothing like that. Just keep it spread out and hope you get a lineup that survives.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm gonna have a guy over 40%. I'm gonna try not to have, because I mean, obviously my player pool, if I'm fading a couple of the guys from 20th back and I'm fading a couple, it's gonna be hard, making 20, 30 lineups and not having 40%. But I'm gonna try to keep under 40%.
Yeah, and then for the groups, obviously there's the guys that are going to be running optimizers, so I usually try to get as many uniques as I can as well. So like aim for at least 3 unique players so you have the most diversified lineups you possibly can, the most range of combinations, I guess.
And of course, this is probably, I probably don't need to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Just completely ignore salary.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have 10,000 left, I mean,
It's like for the truck race, when I built, I set it the max salary at I think 48,000, so it would leave at least 2K for every lineup.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody watching this probably knows that for restricted play races, but I figured I'd just throw that out there. So, well, before we go, Sterling, is there anything else?
No, I mean, obviously, make sure you get in the Discord. Make sure you check out racefortheprize.com. And
Yes.
we'll see you back for Atlanta, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do Daytona 500
Review.
review. Yeah, probably Monday-ish. So yeah, probably Monday morning, maybe Monday night, something like that. We'll do a review on the Daytona 500, kind of talk about it, go over the DraftKings, what we liked, whatever. So yeah, we'll see you guys Monday.
Yep. See you. Good luck.